Hello, my name is Collin Schmelebeck, and today I wanted to go over exactly how you audit six-figure revenue accounts and actually talk to them on the first sales call and first discovery call with your prospect with that brand and make them actually respect you and actually show them you know what you're talking about while securing a full audit, as well as getting your foot in the door to make sure you actually sign them as a client, right? So in this short video, I'm just gonna go over exactly how I did this for a 100K revenue account. I'm currently spending about 30K a month with them and actually turned into a client of mine, right? So I'm gonna show you exactly the frameworks I use to actually go over the account together on a call with them, right? Not a lot of agencies do this, which I don't know why. Talk to a potential brand, show them that you actually know what you're talking about. You want to do a full audit, that's something you want to do after after that first discovery call, when I've run through all the different campaigns, all the different ads, right? But until then, you need to get your foot in the door. And after you ask all those, good discovery questions, you need to establish that is, one of what you want to know and what you feel comfortable with. Then you want to say, hey, let's run through the account together, just see some very overview stuff. And this does two things. The first thing is that it allows you to get your foot in the door and actually get access, looking inside the account. But then two, it also then shows you an easy way to stand out from other agencies that don't do this, as well as putting just small ideas of what could be better, what could be improved, and easy revenue opportunities that you see right there on the call with them. So for example, this client of mine now, this is looking back a few months ago in spring. Right now I spend about 30 to 40K a month with them. And at the time, they're about 100K a month revenue. So this client of mine is now worth about 30K revenue for myself in the last couple of months, LTV wise, and this should be staying with me for at least a year probably. Looking at kind of a long-term view of what they want and where they're trying to go. But I just want to show you an opportunity of how you guys can do this yourself with getting your own clients and stuff, and just kind of where and how I do this for larger accounts that maybe you're intimidated by, right? Go look into an account that is getting 6 figures worth of revenue. Can you be any value? Can you find any easy stuff that just allows you to get from the door to learn somehow, right? So let's get into it and run through 4 areas that I did on this call with them that turned them into one of my clients. So let's get into it. Now, this is on Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, actually get this real-time stuff, feel free to. But I'm bringing this to the YouTube side to kind of break it down more and show you more examples. So just for clarity, this is the initial kind of right before we started in February. Spent about 30K, 30 to 40K back, but at the time about 100K revenue per month, right? So let's get into it. So there's 4 areas I want to talk about. One is just finding a missing puzzle piece, finding an easy competitive advantage. Is there a conversion rate area we can improve? And then go over the main campaign, right? So this is kind of the frameworks I always try to follow on a discovery call with them. I want to find an easy thing that can be improved, right? That could be fake revenue in the account, not tracking something properly, more so on that foundational component, because before I get into a campaign or a strategy with someone, right, I want to make sure I know exactly what they're going for, what they've done in the history. So it's a lot of historical questions of what they're doing, strategy, optimization, all good stuff. But 1 is always trying to find a missing puzzle piece. 2 is there competitive advantage that they're not seeing, either with competitive strategy actually, or bidding a little harder, looking at your search competitive metrics, stuff like that, or shopping insights in GMC. Conversion rate tests, are they just missing a big piece, like they're sending traffic to a homepage instead of a product page, or vice versa? Is the headline just off from the ad? Just simple stuff like that. And then always break down a main campaign, right? So if they have 10, 30 campaigns, don't worry about going through all those right now on the first call with them. You want to make sure you just go through the top spending campaign, usually the winning campaign, and see if there's easy stuff that they can improve to make that campaign even better, right? So let's go into the first one. So optimization number 1 is find that missing puzzle piece, right? Overall, how I look at this, since foundation wise, they had pretty much everything that you need in terms of tracking right, and there's no missing revenue. They had offline conversions, enhanced conversions, the windows were looked properly, there was nothing wrong with the tracking, right? So at that point, I shifted my thinking to, instead of tracking, make sure it's good to go, I shifted to the strategy. And my strategy is the ads forward text model, which I'll have more videos on that in the future. Basically, this is how I view all accounts. There's 5 different campaign types. And a campaign type they didn't have in this account was nurture campaigns. So this is campaign type number 3. Basically, think middle of the funnel stuff. Main goal here is making sure people are re-engaging with your brand if they've engaged in the past, right? Now, that engagement and qualifier could be a lot of different things to you for one brand versus another brand, or one agency versus another agency. But for example, don't just target all website visitors. Target your best performing product page visitors last 30 days that haven't purchased before, right? Just add qualifiers to them. Basically, this account didn't have anything like that. They had nothing in terms of retargeting people to get them back on the site, just straight up search stuff, very cold, some brand as well, but nothing kind of getting them through the middle, right? And an area why I think this even needed to be more is because of the sales cycle. So looking to the attribution of Google Ads, right? Just in Google Ads platform, We didn't look into anything third-party analytics. Notice that 40% of all conversions were 2+ days, took 2+ days, right? So that's an easy indication of saying, hey, your account would benefit and probably have a better conversion rate and just overall better revenue, more revenue if you had a nurture campaign, at least a simple display one. You don't need to be super complex, have a video, display, search, shopping, etc. Just have a super segmented strategy, right? Take it back, just start with a simple display campaign. Even do all website visitors, exclude your converters, right? Super simple, super not segmented, not advanced, but it's gonna move the needle very, very well for you. So that was the first thing, right? Just have a simple nurturing campaign, help those people that take the 2+ days that almost half your conversion actually have, help them fit across the finish line, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing was finding an easy competitive advantage, right? So overall, looking to the search ads. Now this one may not sound like a super as big of a lever as the last one we just did, right? Because we're actually showcasing those ads to the people that will convert. It just takes a little bit longer. This one was something that, taking a look at competitors and looking to some spy tools, we noticed that all their search ads looked about the same compared to the competitors. We had about the same kind of ad copy, nothing too stood out there, but we noticed in my auction and in their auctions that no one had a business name and business logo. At the time of this writing in spring of this year, this was kind of a newer asset, and a new beta asset from Google, showcasing your business name and business logo if you're a verified advertiser, which thank Google, because that's another competitive advantage you can have looking at your competitors' ads. But they didn't have that. None of them had that. So it's an easy thing to do since they already had that in their account, is actually just upload them. And now you have more visual-based platform since Google is pushing visuals hard, right? Your image assets are pushed very hard. Dynamic images are pushed hard. Prices, if you have that, as well as a business logo, I've noticed are. If you're verified, that's gonna come up, and just another way of standing out in the search auction, right? So easy thing there, not a huge needle mover, but over time, higher click-through rate, more conversions. Now, optimization number 3, right, is how can we improve our search conversion rate? So right now, this brand at the time was all in unresponsive search ads, right? So, that's the standard, that's how you should do it. But overall, looking into the actual ads, I noticed that there was 3 RSAs in our main campaign. The medium spending ad, which is at 30% of the ad spend, I believe the first one was about 50%, medium was at 30%, and the bottom one was about 15-20%-ish, had a 1.9 conversion rate, compared to the winning 50% ad had a 4% conversion rate basically, and the lowest one, which is a lot less data, 15% of the spend basically, at a 4%. So 4 and 4%, and then stuck in the middle was a 2%. Easy optimization. You can either look further into the ad combinations and seeing what is the main headline driving. Can I improve that? Can I pin some stuff? Can I test that? But easy thing is looking into just pausing that middle RSA. Now, of course, with the 2+ day conversion cycle, you want to make sure you look at your attribution, make sure that ad isn't responsible for a lot of first clicks in the top spending and bottom spending ones. We're getting a lot of the second clicks that actually converted, right? Remember that. But easy kind of just blanket optimization first, and then we can look in the data more. Just want to give you an example of kind of how can I improve conversion rate. And then finally, improve the main campaign. So this one was mainly search, right? But here are a few improvements that I found. I found 4 on the call. So 1 was pause 0 converting keywords, right? So I use about a 90 days period for them because it made sense for their sales cycle. But again, for you, make sure you look at, it could be 7 days, 14 days, 90 days, a year. Doesn't matter for the amount of spend in a sales cycle, just make sure it makes sense for that brand, right? And a lot of the easy optimizations is look at your keywords. Is there anything that's spending a lot of money with low return or low conversions as a whole? Pause them, right? Especially if you have a lot of keywords, which this brand did have. It made sense to pause them, and we'll get to that next. More stuff is add a few negatives to steer Google in the right direction. Right now, this account didn't really have any negatives actually, but a lot of their stuff was broad match. So negatives and broad match are still a divisive topic, I will say, because you don't want to overdo the negatives because then you take away Google's ability to contextually and go after the audience itself and the keyword. But you also want to make sure you steer Google in the right direction, not fully trust Google if the account is not as seasoned or is not as high spending as it could be and needs to be to kind of fully trust into the Google Kool-Aid of broad match, right? So overall, just add a few negatives. There's some easy optimizations here that we noticed, like top spending search queries the last 90, 180 days, some stuff that just didn't make sense. Pause that, get rid of that, exclude it, right? Just easy stuff there. And then number 3 was reduce 50+ keyword ad groups, right? So these, this is kind of a thing of the past. It's a lot of keywords and ad groups. I'm personally not a fan of anything over 20 because every single ad group should have a single main theme, right? Because all those keywords need to match your ad copy that you put in your RSA, right? So if you have 50+ keywords, highly possible that either 1, you have different themes that different ad copy could support and have better results because you're matching the relevancy of the search, right? Main goal of Google. Or 2 is you're having duplication and cross-referencing, cross-mapping your keywords where you have one main keyword and you have 3 variations that broad match, since you're using broad match, would cover anyway, right? And of course, you can do it for ad rank, stuff like that, and bid more aggressive towards super specific searches. But at the same time, if you're all in on Google broad match Kool-Aid, you don't really need to go that much deeper, right? You don't need to go exact if you don't want to like that. The main thing here is reduce those 50 plus keyword head groups to like at least 20 or less. Preferably even 10 or less, honestly, is what I see the best results with at a certain spend level. And the main thing here is leave 1, your historical data. Make sure any winners, don't pause those if you don't have to. And the 2 is leave your buying intent or qualifier keywords. You know, they were selling X, make sure it has X plus in a qualifier, not just X. Which, another video for another day. This client actually, we are killing it with just a one word broad match, no brand. But I'll have another video out in the future for that. So overall, that's really it. I just want to show you, easy 4 things you can go on the call. And this was literally all on the call with them that we went through this list. It takes literally 10, 15 minutes. If you know what you're looking for, what you should know what you're looking for. If you're actually going to take over an account for someone, you want to show them that you know what you're talking about, have easy stuff you can go right away, right? Sometimes this is all it takes for me to sign a client. And sometimes it gets the foot in the door to say, hey, we found this together in the call. Let me run through the account for you and kind of give you a full audit / plan of what I think we need to do to get this account better, right? So if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. If you want to follow me on Twitter, go to SchmelebeckPPC on Twitter, and then I'll have another video out soon here on the channel. So give me a subscribe if you want to. And thank you for watching the video. I appreciate you. Have a great day.